Suppose you have a problem, or I don't have to suppose you have a problem. You have a problem. You have many problems. Life is a series of problems, and then you have to try and to solve the problems, and then other problems and things happen, and it's a constant struggle with difficulties. So I don't have to suppose you have a problem. You have a problem. But the question I want to ask you is, what would you do if you knew that your problem, A, is not your problem, and B, is not happening, or this is not a problem because this is an illusion of a problem. So these two things, A, the problem is not yours, B, the problem does not exist. If you knew for a fact that these two things are true, would you still consider your problem to be a problem? And the answer is no. This is the state of self-realization. The understanding that this crazy notion of oneness and unrealness, the emptiness of things, is true, is the true state, is truth, and everything else is a story. It's very hard to state these things because you know, and I know, when I look around me and I see my family, my friends, my country immersed in their problems and the suffering, and it's very hard to say, hey, I know that you worry that you don't have enough money to pay, I don't know, the rent. You know what? It's not your problem. And it doesn't matter because there is no money and there is no flat and you don't exist. So this kind of answer to your problems is not effective because the person cannot really know that it's true. If he did, or if you did, or if she did know that not having enough money for rent is not her problem, it's a general thing, it's an expression, she wouldn't take it seriously, she wouldn't take it in a way that is identifying with the problem, and then it would have become a general problem, and it's much, much easier for anyone to deal with the general problem. Because dealing with problems that are yours, your judgment is clouded. You know that you take into consideration many things that sometimes are irrelevant to the problem because you have notions, programming, you have a childhood trauma. When you go to the problem and it's yours, it's very hard for you to see it plainly as it is. So generally what happens is when there is a difficulty, there is a problem, something comes up, as always, there is a lot of weight coming with the problem that does not belong to the problem at all. And then it adds to the problem, and then the problem seems very, very serious. And generally, if the problem is 24% of your daily life, when you as a person perceives the problem, it becomes like 80% or 50% more of a problem, just because of the psychological burden you take and you put on this thing, the problem itself. So you have to deal with the problem as if it was true and as if it was yours, in your world, in your community, in your family. If it's a health issue, you have to deal with the problem as if it was the real thing, as if it is happening to you, to someone, and you have to do everything in your power to solve the problem. This is the logical thing to do in the world, but the thing I'm suggesting is taking into consideration just the notion, the sheer philosophical idea, these two ideas. When you are coming across this problem, try to break the pattern of the way it arises in your reality, the way the problem presents itself. Because the way the problem presents itself and the first impression, the first interaction you have with your problem is the way, will determine the way it will be solved. And this is why I offer you a more light approach to your problem, because when the problem presents itself and you react in a way that is proportional, in a way that sees the problem as it is without adding to it, chances are that the problem itself will have less inertia, less power to continue presenting itself in your reality. What are problems? They are expressions, that they are invitations to development, to change, and they have no real content. It doesn't matter what the problem is. It is an invitation for the character to do something. So the faster you realize what you have to do, the faster you recognize what the problem has to offer you, the faster this specific expression of a problem will go away or change into an opportunity, as sometimes it does. Problems becomes opportunities or invitations for something else to happen in your life, for a change. So it's very important for you, I think, if you have a problem, if you have problems, and you do, to try and break this first contact with them. And how to do that? Just by remembering these two simple facts that are true, that are and definitely true. You know, the problem is not yours. This is the truth thing you could ever hear from anyone saying and expressing something. If you have a problem, it's not yours. It's ours. It's one else's problem. It's only being expressed, and it's not being expressed because also the expression is an illusion, but through a specific point of view, which is yours, and you perceive it as your own, but it's not yours. Of course, it's not yours. It's ours. We did this problem. We invited ourselves, and the problem itself is you. Everything, every parameter in the problem is yours, is you presenting yourself with opportunities. This is the state, this is the truest thing you will ever hear about the problem you have. It's not yours. So if you can not memorize this thing, but just try to conceptualize it into your mind, to make it like a fighting pattern. You have patterns in your mind. You have reactions, automatic reactions in your brain, in your mind, that comes from the fact that you are a character. But you can try to plant a different kind of reaction to a problem, which is a smile and just nodding and just trying to remind yourself that this problem is not mine. I know it's happening. I know it's happening to me. I will deal with it. Deal with it. Don't think, okay, it's not mine. This is oneness's problem, so oneness has to deal with it. And so, because we are all one, the broom will solve my problems because the broom is also me. Or the glass will solve my problems, or the neighbor. No. As long as the problem presents itself through your perspective, you have to be the one who solves it. You have to actively do that. But you can know that it's not yours and not take it so personally. If you don't take it so personally, don't take it to the heart, if you don't, exaggerate your response, if you don't just instantly dwell into every problem you ever had that was similar, and it reminds you of your grandmother's cat and what happened with him, and it makes you sad, and everything, you bring into the moment, and try to deal with the problem from this, try to stay fresh and say, okay, this is something that is happening, presenting itself. It's not mine. It's a general thing, but I have to solve it. What is happening? Look directly at the problem as it is. This will help you solve your problem easily, more quickly. The second thing I offered you is that the problem is not real. So this is also something you can try when problems appear in your screen, to just recognize, like point, like when you point to something, you usually concentrate and focus on this pointing. And so there is a problem, and you point and you say, oh, there is a problem, it's in my field, it's presenting itself, and I'm pointing at it directly, and I'm saying, because everything around me, and if you watch my channel or you are interested in this philosophical idea, it's not philosophical, it's the truth, but you know that this is the concept we offer. Nothing is real, the appearance is like a great illusion, and you have to take it into consideration. So you point to the problem and you say, I believe or I think that this problem is not happening because nothing is happening right now. I am, as I was always, undisturbed quietness and bliss. This is what you are, this is what I am, this is what everything is, undisturbed quietness and bliss. So when a problem rises, it's also undisturbed quietness and bliss. And you can point to it and say, I know this, behind the costume of the expression of a problem, I know this is what you are. When you point to it, why? And you say that, and when you point to it and you say that, it will help you just ground yourself into a better perception of reality. Reality is not real. Reality is affected by the way you perceive it. You, the identifying character, the ego that believes that it is separate. So reality is not real, but it is as real as you make it by your perception, the way you react to it. And you change it through your actions, and your actions are influenced by the way the false character that identified with itself perceives the problem. So the deeper, and if it takes the problem in the serious way, but not in the serious way you have to take it if it's serious. If it's a serious problem, you have to do whatever you need to do, the most powerful way to deal with it. Like if the problem is that you have a heavy rock on you, you have to, with all your might, try to lift the rock. If you are trapped under the rock and you are busy with what a terrible thing has happened to you, and that the rock cannot be moved, and you don't have enough power, and you don't know what to do, and it's always happening to you, and you will be so obsessed with these thoughts, you will not have enough energy to really look at what is happening and to really try to find a solution how to move and remove this rock, this giant rock, from you. So the way you perceive your problem, the way you react to your problem, is the way it will be solved. And if you want your problem to be solved quickly, more quickly, so you have to do the things in a calm and a logical kind of way, when you are connected to reality. And connecting yourself to reality in a paradoxical way, these two phrases will help you to do that. A, this is not my problem, oneness's problem, I created this expression. And B, nothing is real, and this problem also is not real. These two statements are very weird, but they can ground you to a reality that can help you act in real life. And I know it's paradox, because when I offer these two statements, if you truly believe that they are true, why move? Why move the rock? If it is true and nothing is happening, there is no rock, you are not trapped under a rock, it's not yours, we are oneness, nothing is happening, why the hell should you try to move the rock? This is the paradox. But as long as you are not connected directly to this knowledge, and you are not this knowledge, not knowing this knowledge, you are not this knowledge, just being this knowledge, as long as you are a captive of this false identity you created for yourself, we created for you, I created it for you, you created it for me, as long as this thing happens, you must play the game. You must act as if the game is true. I'm just offering a way to use this knowing to help you cope with your daily life, not as a way to avoid your daily life. Now you can ask me, like Simcha, you are this knowledge. Suppose you believe I am this knowledge, as I state. So when you will be trapped under a rock, will you move the rock? And then the ones who knows me and the ones who listen to me knows exactly what Simcha will say. This is the paradox. She will try with all her might to move the rock. She will have no pain doing that, not psychological, not physical, because also the physical is not real. She will not have any will to do that. You will only do that because it will be the right thing to do for a character that is trapped under a rock, not because she's in trouble or she is afraid or something, because this is the automatic story. So yes, you always have to act as if the story is real, and also she does that, Simcha does that. And if knowledge itself, or if you believe that I am knowledge and I'm this thing, does that, you have to do it also. You have to deal with your problems as if they were true. But the ground you stand on, try to stand on the ground. Try to connect to your true self by stating these things playfully, not seriously, because taking this seriously, oh, I'm not that, I am not my problem. This is funny for me, because try to convince yourself you are not your problem, I am not my problem. You cannot do that, you cannot believe yourself, you are lying to yourself all the time. How can you believe it when you are more serious and when you are quiet and you are meditating? Then you will believe yourself, then the barrier between you and you will break. Because you were serious, because you meant it, because you prayed for it, because you wished it. No, it will never happen. You will never break this barrier between the identifying ego and the thing itself, which is the same, by just wanting it to be so. But I offer you to ask yourself playfully, I have a problem. Suppose it was not my problem. How funny it would be if it would be the cat's problem. Suppose you have a cat and you named it George, and when you have a problem you say, suppose it wasn't my problem, suppose it is George's problem. George is the cat problem. And it's funny, and you can laugh about it, and you can use it in everything you see in your surroundings, and it will make you laugh. Now, it is a funny thing for me. Suppose it was I don't know, the trash can problems. Suppose it was someone else's, that you hate problems, and it is, because everything is one, and the problem is also, not also, the problem is everywhere. When you have a problem, it's everyone's problem. No, it's in the fields, it's oneness, it's synchronicity, it's nothing, it's like everything is connected, so it's ours. But this is how I offer you to use it, in a playful kind of way. Not in a serious kind of way, because then I would be betraying the truth, which is light, which is, no, because everything is not real, and everything is so light, and so it's great joy, and you cannot see this seriousness. I'm not this thing. God, I'm not this thing. No, you have to laugh about it, and you're not this thing. Try. And try to look at your problems from this kind of point. My offer is to playfully look at your problems from these 2 points. A, when you have a problem, it's not yours, it's oneness's problem, and it can be expressed in anything you see in your surroundings. So try to make yourself laugh, and just light the situation a little bit and project this problem, and know that it is also someone else's problem or something else's problem. And the second thing is, you can also playfully ask and say and declare, this is not real, this is emptiness, and I can laugh about it, because even the illusion of the problem is not real. It's not that it's not the cat's problem, it is not a problem, because the cat itself is like the cat from Alice in Wonderland. It disappears. And these 2 things can help you ground yourself to real reality. But then take all your might and all your power and look directly at your problem and just solve it. So just try to directly look at it. When it expresses itself, offers itself, ground yourself into this light perspective, and then everything will flow more naturally, and problems will become what they are meant to be for you as a character. Just another expression, another opportunity, beautiful opportunity for you to express yourself, grow and evolve, and laugh eventually.